Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in again live today. Today is Sunday, February 19th, and it is 1 p.m. Eastern Time here in the U.S. You are currently watching the Skill Building Sunday Drawing Group here on the Reinventing the Tattoo Network. I am your host, Jason Leeser, and if this is working for you, please let us know in the comments and in the chats, and please tag a friend who loves tattoos. Welcome to Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo Community, where tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are encouraged to join in these live streams, real-world events to share and inspire and ultimately create better art and tattoos together. We beam out nearly every day and with your help have evolved into a quality network of amazing live and on-demand tattoo and art shows that have all been receiving rave reviews. You can find Reinventing the Tattoo in both of the app stores, the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, as well as our Reinventing the Tattoo YouTube channel, our Reinventing the Tattoo Roku channel, which has 12 to 15 episodes playing at any given time of day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can also find us in all of the major podcast directories, such as Apple and Spotify. Or you can always just do a search for Reinventing the Tattoo and you'll find it all, except for the book. That's out of print. Sorry, guys. There's none of them left. I know I've been asking for years. I can't even get one. But no matter where you were watching live or on demand, you can always get the latest and greatest information, as well as an up-to-date live event calendar, all available at www.reinventingthetattoo.com. You can try it out for free. We've got a sample webinar from the Reinventing the Tattoo Canon, or you can take a look at some free advice from Guy on goal setting, or you can take a look at a comprehensive tattoo history course from Jay Brown, all of which are amazing. You can only pick one, but they are all excellent options. At reinventingthetattoo.com, you can also find an event schedule with a full weekly and special event live stream calendar with all of the relevant details to join in our live stream events. You can find the Reinventing 24/7 channel, a lot like the Roku channel, only it plays out through the web. We've got 13 different episodes playing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you can always take a look at that. That's also available at reinventingthetattoo.com, as well as over 20 world-class tattooers have allowed us to put out some professional development courses through reinventingthetattoo.com. You can find all of that there as well. Once again, if this is working for you, please let us know in the comments and in the chats, and please tag a friend who loves tattoos. Maybe it's someone interested in getting tattooed. Maybe it's someone that's trying to become a tattoo artist. Maybe you're already a tattoo artist and you're just looking for other sources of information. Tag someone. We're always trying to get the word out about these shows. And we can't do that without your help. So please give us a hand. We have a number of weekly staple shows that we always encourage people to tune into, starting on Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time with me for the Skill Building Sunday Drawing Group. That's followed on Mondays with 3 different shows starting at 9 a.m. with Drawing for Tattooers with James Wisdom, where we go through and we cover some basic drawing techniques and strategies to help us become better artists. Following that at 5 p.m., we have Let's Talk About Feelings with Robbie Ripple, where we go through and we address certain not very often discussed topics in the tattoo world. And following that at 9 p.m. on Mondays, once again, all Eastern Time, we have a subscribers exclusive drawing group with Sandy McAndrew, who's part of the Reinventing the Tattoo Network, where we go through and we have weekly challenges. We cover different sections of the Reinventing the Tattoo canon. And now is your time. If you are not a Reinventing the Tattoo subscriber, go through. We've got 2 different options. You can get the yearly subscription to the canon, or you can become part of our Reinventing the Tattoo Evolution class. The Evolution is a little bit more budget friendly. It's a little bit more condensed, but we still cover a lot of the same materials as the canon. We have live drawing groups every Monday night at 9 p.m. And that's kind of what that's talking about. Following that, on Wednesdays, we have the Tattoo Now show with Gabe Ripley starting at 1 p.m. And following that, on Thursdays at 6 p.m., we have the Tattoo Collecting 101 podcast with Fawn Baker. All of these shows happen just about every week. And they are all absolutely amazing. Every now and then I try to pop into as many as I can because they're all just really awesome. I'd like to go through and take a second to thank some of our sponsors and some of our affiliates, some of the people that make these things happen. Starting off with worldtattooevents.com, the largest, most comprehensive resource for tattoo events worldwide. They're constantly keeping their schedules as up to date as humanly possible. As we know, living in this post-pandemic world where everything is getting rescheduled like crazy, some things are still getting postponed and pushed back. For the latest and greatest, most up-to-date tattoo event information coming to a town near you, or maybe it's coming to a town you want to visit, who knows? You can always get the latest information at worldtattooevents.com. Next, we have Tattoo Now, technology for tattooers, the leading edge in professional development, management, and digital tools for tattooers of all levels. They're constantly keeping everything competitive and up to date with any and all CRM and mailing list and scheduling software that's currently available. So if you're really looking for some digital tools to really help take your tattoo business to a whole nother level, maybe you're trying to recruit new clients that really want to get the kind of tattoos that you want to do, or maybe you're just interested in looking at some scheduling software. Take a look at tattonow.com and they will be more than happy to help you get set up with whatever you require. As always, I have to give a very personal, heartfelt thank you to Guy Aitchison at guyaitchison.com. He is the founder and inspiration behind Reinventing the Tattoo. Go to guyaitchison.com where you can pick up a copy of his Biomech Encyclopedia, some of his DVDs. He's got countless fine art prints and sometimes some original paintings for sale as well. So go take a look at guyaitchison.com. I'd like to thank a couple of our affiliates real quick, starting off with the Apprenticeship Diaries with Amy Nichols. The Apprenticeship Diaries, if you are looking to get into tattooing and become a tattoo apprentice, take a look at the Apprenticeship Diaries. They'll kind of key you in as far as what to look for in a good one and what you might be able to expect in a tattoo apprenticeship, as well as the Fireside Tattoo Network with Jake Meeks, a great alternate source of tattoo information. They've got tons of really great interviews. Go through, take a listen. I can guarantee you'll learn something new. And I'd also like to say a very special thank you and personal shout out to Tatcom and Aaron Williams, the mad scientist. These guys are literally developing and creating the most cutting edge tattoo technology you could ever possibly imagine. These guys are developing tools such as power supplies and machines that can really help you take your tattooing to a whole new level. These guys are developing and diving into the science behind tattoos, what makes tattoos, how tattoos really work from a scientific perspective, as well as how can they go through and make tattooing easier and better for artists out there. So for the latest tattoo technology, take a look at Tatcom. And Aaron, dude, you are an absolute genius, man. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with me. I got to talk to Aaron at the Philadelphia Tattoo Convention, and my mind was absolutely blown with how much knowledge this guy actually has. So by all means, please take a look at Tatcom. As always, we ask that you post positive reviews on the channel and help us get the word out. If you like today's episode, hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure to keep up to date with all of our latest shows and get those notifications so that you can tune in next time for all of the shows coming up. If you would like to host a Reinventing the Tattoo event or become a sponsor of our community, maybe you're looking for a fine art critique or a tattoo critique, you can always email management@reinventingthetattoo.com, and we'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can. So with the intro done, we've got Medusa Slays waiting for us in the waiting room. Welcome, Medusa. And I think we're still waiting for Medusa to connect. There you are. What's up, Medusa? I can't hear you, by the way. You're muted.
Hi. Hi.
Hey, hey. So I've actually decided I'm going to flip things around a bit today. And I'm going to take a break from working digitally. And I'm going to start working a bit more analog, or a bit more. I'm going to take a break from working analog and work a bit more digitally. Sorry. Confusion.
I was about to say, like, I see you paint all the time. What do you mean?
Yeah. So I started working on this one design that I'm trying to get together for the upcoming Skindustry Tattoo Expo coming up in Allentown, Pennsylvania, by the way, at the end of March. Let me pull up some information on that. It is an absolutely wonderful show. I highly recommend it for anyone out there. It's very small as far as volume of artists, but the caliber and quality of artists is absolutely amazing. It's kind of tricky to get into, but once you're in, and it is absolutely awesome.
Well, which thing is this? There's some I can't keep
This
track.
is Skindustry. So I'm actually going to
Okay.
go through and
Oh, I've
share
heard
my
of this.
screen. Let's see. Go through, we'll do screen 2, desktop 2. Share. So this is the Skindustry Tattoo Expo in the Lehigh Valley. It takes place at the Delta Hotel by Marriott. And it is coming up March 24th, 25th, and 26th. Like I said, it's fairly small. They do have some live music going on. They have the spin the wheel of t-shirts where you can spin a wheel and maybe get a t-shirt. We've got Shotzi Gorman joining us this year. Oh man, so many. AJ Godshaw, Adam Jeffries, Alex Miller. I mean, so many amazing. Alexis Kovacs. So many incredible. Alyssa Fato. You know, she's absolutely crushing it. I know her personally. Super amazing person. Billy Hines. I mean, Brandon Kendall. So many amazing artists that are going to be there. A couple of my favorites, I believe, are still coming up. Let's see. Dan Schuster's awesome. Devin Cooley's going to be there. Desmond Mooney's going to be there. Dennis Smythe will be there. Dennis Smythe's a very good friend of mine. I mean, so many amazing tattooers. You start to see a lot of, and this is something I've picked up on in my years. And I'm not sure if you can actually see what I'm sharing. Let me see if maybe I have to adjust the system setting. Good. Okay. I don't think it's letting me go through and share right now.
I can't see anything on my side.
Share screen. Yeah, here we go. So I will start over. Share. There we go. Should be, let's see. Yep, there we go. So Skindustry Tattoo Expo. And that, like I mentioned before, that'll be taking place March 24th, 25th, and 26th. So we got some live events, spin the wheel of t-shirts, Shotzi Gorman.
Hey, Rick.
Ricardo. Dude, that wall is amazing. So where was I? Let's see.
Those are some good shit you're scrolling through.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely incredible artists that are going to be there.
What's up, guys?
What's up, buddy?
How's it going?
What's up, Ricky?
Going pretty well, man. Going pretty well. Frank Gunther does amazing work. Let's see. My very, very good friend, brother of mine is Ian Chapin. He'll be there as well as Jackson. Those guys work together and they are absolutely crushing everything that they are doing. You start to see a lot of trends. Oh, I wonder who did that tattoo. You start to see a lot of trends with a lot of different shows that kind of gear themselves towards specific styles. Starting to notice that. You see a lot of very like traditional stuff. You see some fine line stuff here and there, but at this show, you're going to see a lot of very traditional tattooing. You're going to see a lot of bold lines, black shading. Wow, that's really nicely done. I really like that one. But there's just, it's going to be absolutely a very good friend of mine, Mike Nemo. He'll be there as well. Mike Nemo also worked with me at the Puerto Rico Tattoo Convention this year. Well, he didn't work in my booth, but you know, he was there. Sean Duffy's going to be there. His color saturation is incredible. Scott Bramble, another great person who works in the area, who's absolutely killing it. Sean Quinlan, I've gotten the chance to know him over the years. He's starting to absolutely crush everything. It should be a really, really great show. Like I said, there's not going to be too many artists there, but the artists that are going to be there are going to be absolutely awesome. The guy who runs this show is very, very strict about vetting artists, making sure that they are on the up and up, that they really know what they are doing. And, you know, they want to make sure that they've got everything going on, and that they are top-notch artists, which is something that I really look for in a lot of tattoo conventions that I work at.
That's awesome. Yeah, that looks like some really skilled artists you just scrolled through. You're going to have a blast, dude.
I love that show. Like I said, it's very small. It's very personal, which is exactly what I really like. I'm starting to phase out of a lot of the bigger, more volume conventions. As much as I do enjoy going to them and working at them from time to time, I almost feel like it becomes so big that it's just not personal anymore. You know, it loses that kind of personal touch to it.
Are you feeling this way after coming back from the Philly Villain Arts?
So the Philly Villain Arts show is a show that I work at every year, and I love that show just because it is, to me, the home show. So it's kind of like I love that show, but at the same time, I'm starting to like kind of move away from it. I don't know. It's fun, just by volume of people that show up and the type of work people are willing to get done there. But you know, it's huge. It takes, I almost never get to see the whole show. And that's really kind of upsetting to me because I love going to tattoo conventions and just sometimes just walking around.
Having been to a few tattoo events with you, I know, I can like imagine right now how antsy you would be to try to like get around and see everything and not be able to.
Yeah, well, I resigned myself many years ago that I was never going to see all of the tattoo convention in Philadelphia. I accepted that fact a while back, and just accepting that has kind of helped made things a little bit easier. But you know, it's one of those things. I love tattoo shows. I love tattoo conventions. I love going to them. I love attending them. I love working at them. To me, it's like it's it's awesome because I'm surrounded by a whole bunch of people that have the same passion in life, that do the same things that I do. You know, that are constantly trying to push themselves, constantly trying to elevate themselves, constantly trying to, you know, just be better at everything that they do. And I love being in that kind of an environment. Not saying I don't do that kind of stuff outside of a tattoo convention, but you know, it's like why why wouldn't you want to be around other people that can give you other perspectives, and maybe you can pick up a new little trick that can help change the game of what you do.
Good point. So you're working on a scully little spider boy today?
So this is actually a zoomed in view of a much bigger design that I'm working on.
Oh my God, that is so cool.
Yeah, I took the idea of working with bottles because I really got into like decanter bottles, potion bottles, stuff like that, and really working on like glass reflections and highlights. And it's like, well, why don't I actually put some of that stuff to use? So I've started working on like a many different versions of just things in bottles. And I was playing around with different ideas, like maybe putting a human heart in here. And I was like, can't do that. Already have one of those. I was like, well, maybe I can do a skull. Can't do that. Already have one of those. And I was like, well, what about a shrunken head? I could probably
Who
do
says you
that.
can't do more than one?
I could. I definitely could. But I'm trying to create different things and different ideas, and just, you know, feeling things out. I have yet to tattoo the poison bottle on anyone. So that one's still up for grabs. The love potion bottle, the one with the human heart in it, is still up for grabs. So I don't want to have too many of the same idea up for grabs at the same time. Once someone comes in and maybe they get the potion bottle done, or once I get to do the you know, the poison bottle, once I can go through and tattoo one of those, then I'll start working on another version of it. But until that happens, I want to come up with different ideas so that people have different options. You know, maybe someone doesn't want a skull in a bottle. Maybe they want a spider, you know? And it's like, well, that's cool and all, but you're still getting a skull because I'm making the back end of this spider a skull.
I love it. That is a sexy spider in a really hot bottle.
Well, and I've started playing around with like different ideas as far as what I can do for you know, the background inside the bottle instead of just having the spider floating there. Because I like to try to tie things together. So I started drawing up some different types of spider webbing. You know, maybe getting some nice webbing in there as just like a flat background. I think that could be cool.
Dude, one of these days I'm gonna get a tattoo from you and it's gonna be so fucking sick.
Yeah, it'll be a blast. I always try to have, you know, fun and just do fun things, you know.
I want a tattoo from all of y'all. Like I want a tattoo from Sandy. I want a tattoo from Ricardo. I want a tattoo from Kier. I want a tattoo from Bruno. I want a tattoo from Kyle. Both of them. I want an
Well, you were
apprentice
just out
tattoo from
seeing Bruno.
True. I think we're gonna talk about it some more, but I might be getting tattooed by him at Hell City. Maybe.
Oh, Bruno's
Not
working
sure.
Hell City?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So maybe, not sure. But yeah. I want to
Radical.
get tattooed by all of you. Like, and walk around and be all like, look, my friend did this. My friends are so cute and talented. Oh my God, look at what they did.
Look at these fools.
Yeah, I still need to get an original Ricardo tattoo. I just don't know where to put it.
Yeah,
You're
you're
running
running
out
out
of
of room.
space.
You're gonna have to start collecting
Yeah.
Blastovers. You're gonna
Well,
be like
I can do
Yalzi
that.
on your third bodysuit.
Yeah. So he's technically only on his second. I mean, technically speaking, he's only on number 2. I have met a guy that is currently working on bodysuit number 3 with blastovers and like cover-ups and reworks and stuff like that. He doesn't really like to admit that he's on number 3, but he's like, yeah, well,
Yeah, well. Bro, I am having the most fun right now. I'm also working digitally. I'm making I'm trying to practice when people draw cartoons, but they kind of make them look 3D or almost realistic, but still cartoonish.
so
Mhm.
illustrations,
Huh? Yeah.
illustrations.
Yeah.
I believe that's what you're referring to.
Yes. I'm trying to do a variation on Rocco's Modern Life. So I'm working on Rocco here. I'm gonna show you in a second when I this. Let's see.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
Oh, Rocco's Modern
Oh
Life.
yeah, there we go.
Rocco and Spunky. So cute.
Didn't they come up with a newer movie on Netflix?
Yeah, a few years ago.
Yeah.
And like it was made by all of the original like animators, creators, and writers and everything. So it was like really true to everything, and it was cell animation.
Ooh. Now,
So
why don't you explain to us the difference between cell animation and like digital?
I cell animation is the traditional cartoon animation in which you draw every single individual like split second scene by hand, and each of those are taken pictures of, and those pictures are laid out in a row to make the animation, as opposed to digital animation, which everything has gone to these days, which is all done on, tablets and computers. I'm kind of afraid of explaining all that because I might say something wrong or use the wrong terms, and I don't know which kind of cartoonist out there is going to get mad at me.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. And
Yeah.
that actually brings me up to today's topic. It's okay to be wrong.
I wanted to go to school for cartooning actually when I was younger. That was one of my first artistic dreams was I wanted to be a cartoonist. I actually took a couple of mini courses at the Art Institute of Seattle. So I have a VHS somewhere actually with my first hand-drawn cartoon on it.
Really?
What's that one?
Yeah, it's really fucking bad. Yeah,
Huh.
it's a VHS and it has like a few seconds of everybody in the class's first like hand-drawn cartoon that we made in our little mini animation course at the Art Institute of Seattle. Yeah, I went there when I was 17 for a weekend. I got to stay in the dorms and like you know, see what college life would be like if I were to do that, take a few classes. I took a figure study class, an animation class, and yeah, that was really cool. But I don't want to say that I know too much about cartooning and all of that though, because you know, that was just like a little weekend trial thing when I was 17. So sorry, cartoonists out there, if I have totally botched explaining all of that.
Well, you know what? I think you did a pretty good job of explaining it. Because cell animation, from my understanding, and once again, I may be totally wrong in this, and that's okay if I am. Cell animation is the original analog way to go about drawing animations, cartoons, everything from Steamboat Willie all the way through the 80s. You know, that was all cell animation. I don't think digital animation started to really come about until the 90s. At least
Yeah.
that's what I think, when I think it became affordable. Because I know before
Yeah.
that it was ridiculous. Like computers were not at the level where they could perform such tasks.
Yeah, and that's actually why cell animation is not really too much in style anymore, is because now digital animation is more affordable, and it actually costs a lot to hire animators who are going to draw every single thing by hand, like every like split second cell by hand. It costs so much when you can do like 10 times the work, or like so much more work in a fraction of the time on a computer now. Which I think is one reason why now when small animated shorts that come out and everything that are done in the traditional fashion, like people make a big deal out of it, because now we're able to recognize how much effort is put into that. Whereas I think before the rise of digital animation, I think a lot of people kind of took for granted the work the animators put in to films, and even just like a few seconds of a cartoon was days of work.
I believe this to be true.
All right. So yeah, it is okay to be wrong. Right?
Correct. It is. You know, sometimes we think we know things, and sometimes we think, you know, we've got the answer, and sometimes we don't, you know, and that's okay. As long as we're willing to admit that we don't know everything, we'll be just fine.
I think it's also really, really okay to just like say, yeah, admitting when you're wrong about something takes a lot of humility. It's a way of humbling yourself, and it takes lowering your pride to do that, but it can also make your life and everybody's life around you so much better when you just say, hey, I was wrong about that one thing. I know better now.
Yeah. Or, hey, you know what? I don't have that answer right now, but you know what? I know someone that does. Let me reach out to them real quick and let me get back to you. You
I'm
know,
thinking,
it's
I
very
think
customer service kind of trick.
I think when it comes to tattooing, admitting that you don't feel comfortable with a project is a really courageous thing too, because I know a lot of tattooists out there will take on projects that they might not be comfortable with because they have a little too much pride to admit that, hey, this isn't, I'm not actually that good at this style or this thing that you want.
What I try to tell everyone that comes in and says, "Oh, I want to get a portrait done of so and so," and I'm like, "Okay, so let's explore that." I'm still working on anatomy and faces and everything like that, and I'm just not comfortable with doing it just yet. I was like, if you can wait a few years, by all means, I'll probably feel a bit more comfortable. Um, but as it stands now, like I'm just really not that comfortable doing a portrait just yet. I mean, because the last thing I want to do is do one and then have the eye turn out all wonky. You know, maybe it's got like a lazy eye and it shouldn't have a lazy eye. And me being me, I'd probably turn around and be like, yeah, but it adds character. Like it's pretty cool. And it's like, yeah, but that's not the way my grandmom looked. You know, so at
That's
the end
not
of the
what my
day, I just,
grandma looks like.
you know, at the end of the day, I just want people to have the best tattoo possible, you know, regardless of whether or not I do it. You know, so if that means I have to refer someone out, I will. Especially if it's like a child portrait or something like that. Like, I really don't want to be the guy who's when it's up. Be like, why is the forehead so big? It's like, I don't know. Maybe they had a big forehead.
They'll grow into it. Don't worry.
Yeah, right. But at the same time, I understand getting outside of your comfort zone, right? Because until we can get outside of our comfort zone and push ourselves to achieve more or do things and explore things that maybe we don't always feel that comfortable with, then you know, at that point in time, it's like, okay, well, if you just keep doing all the stuff you're comfortable with, you're never going to grow and you're never going to achieve what your true potential is. I'm
What
not
if I just
saying
get really, 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 really good at what I'm comfortable with?
by all means, that's fine, but you'll never know if you're actually capable of doing other things.
All right, all right, all right, all right.
I don't know. That's my 2 cents and I'm sticking to it.
I dig it. I dig your 2 cents.
What are you working on today, Cardo?
I'm just doodling, just listening to you guys talking and doodling the little water skull.
Water skulls, everywhere a water skull.
What's a water skull?
I'll show it to you guys real quick.
Oh, whoa!
Bringing no water.
My dude.
I like it.
So just playing with the motion and trying to get it all going and playing with the positive and the negative balances and trying to maintain that frame of the skull too without losing it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So taking the lines that I know and the contours that I know are in the skull and trying to liquefy them almost. So it's fun and hard.
Yes.
It's fun. It's hard. It's fun.
It's all of the above.
All the aboves.
That one, invert. I love layering. So I'm thinking maybe if I go through and I do something along these lines, that could be cool. But I see, and this is the thing that I always run into whenever I do spider webs. I always find that they end up looking so static. you know, but it's like, it's the perfect kind of background to something like this.
Static. Yeah. Dude, that's a sick looking design you're drawing. I would wear it. 10/10. Put it on me.
Then we'll just kind of cap that off there. Yeah, I didn't want to go super overboard with the webbing. Maybe if I do this, but you know, like I said before, I'm just trying to get different ideas together for this coming show, because I know me and my ideas tend to just be like, well, what do I want to do? Another flower? You know, and it's like, no, I don't want to do another flower. I probably shouldn't. There we go. That's better. Because I have enough flowers on hand and on deck at any given point in time that someone can come up and be like, hey, I want a rose. And I'm like, cool, here, pick one. Got like 8 of them drawn already. Oh, you like peonies? Cool, here, pick one. Once again, I've got about 9 of them drawn already. So I'm always coming up with different ideas and trying to figure out what would work better. I like this web. I think, once again, I think it's too symmetrical and too, like, even though it's not symmetrical, I just don't think it has enough motion to it.
Well, putting too much motion in something with that much contour might create some confusion, don't you think? I think it looks pretty good, like with how symmetrical it already is.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna second what Ricardo has to say. Ricardo's smart. I'll agree with him and never be wrong.
Don't do that. You might get lost.
So Mike Cole just made a comment on the YouTubes. Mike, you rock, by the way. He said it's really hard not to make your spider webs look very symmetrical. I know, but whenever I'm doing a symmetrical design like this, especially one that's got a symmetrical backdrop or like halo design up above it, especially with symmetrical style leaves, which I may actually end up getting rid of and substituting out for something asymmetrical. But I always like to try to do something asymmetrical near it just to kind of give it more flow, as opposed to just keeping everything static, everything perfectly symmetrical the entire time. You know what I mean?
You could, I mean, this is just an idea, but maybe you could do some of the webbing on the outside of it instead of on the inside of the base.
That was a thought of mine, to go through and take maybe some of the webbing and just kind of like just do some like tiny little guys.
Yeah, because then you could almost drape
around
it.
it.
You know what I mean? They could have some flow where it drapes.
Just kind of connecting these leaves. I think that could be pretty cool. Because then depending on the webbing on the outside, that could also play into like an asymmetrical kind of way. Or maybe I'll just do like one longer guy there. Have something like there, kind of hanging down.
Ugh, my poor dog. I got a robot vacuum and he's afraid of it. So he's like really leaning into me right now, needing some pets.
Why
My-
would you torture your dog like that? That's not right.
Have you seen him? Do you know how much he sheds? I need help.
Ah.
Oh, holy cow. Ricky. Spotlight Rick. Spotlight Rick.
Whoa. Look at that guy.
What the heck?
Why is that not in a frame? And why do I not own that?
I don't know.
I'll fight you.
Buy it off you.
Jason Leeser. I will fight you for that.
That's one we did a while back on one of the old shows, but it's
I
fun.
really like the way you did that with that little bit of a cast shadow in there on top of the web.
Yeah.
I really, really like that.
Holy hell. Okay. So, I don't know how it works in the world of artists. Is it like Highlander where if we cut off your head, we can get your powers?
Yeah. So I already tried that with Ricardo. We already
It's
went
the
through the whole quickening process, and
quickening.
yeah, it didn't work.
Mhm. It's Nestle quickening.
Have you tried cutting off his head?
Yeah,
Don't
he
do
put it
that.
right back on. It did not work very well. He was
Yeah.
like, dude, what are you doing? Give me that back.
Oh man. Yeah, but yeah, if I could have anybody, if I could mimic anybody's superpowers, I'd want to mimic Ricky's. That's pretty fucking sick, my dude.
Thanks, guys.
So another thought I had that is potentially feasible. And once again, Mike Cole made a very good comment in the YouTube where he said bright colored web on the outside would give it some great contrast depending on how you're going to color the rest of it. And that's something I hadn't even really contemplated just yet, was how do I want to color this thing? If I keep the leaves, group, duplicate, flatten, and then I can go through. If I do this, here, 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 and nope, here. Do give this a little bit of gray wash. Believe it or not, this design has been sitting on deck, partially drawn for months. Which is why I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to finish this guy up and I'll throw it in. Because I've been drawing my butt off at the studio lately. I had 3 cancellations this week. Well, not cancellations, but 3 people postpone. One due to COVID, one due to childcare issues, and one due to financial issues. And it's like, that's cool. That's not a problem. The one that canceled due to financial issues, I can totally understand because they booked out an entire day. It's my friend Sarah. We're working on a full torso piece on her. And she's like, yeah, I'm just not in a financial place right now. She just started a new job and everything. And she just didn't have the coin to go through and sit down and book out a full day. So it's like, hey, I get it. Not a problem. So I've spent couple of days just sitting around drawing this week. And I've drawn some pretty cool stuff, that one of which was kind of claimed by a coworker, but not really. So it's still kind of up for grabs. So I may take it to the show with me. I'm not quite sure on that yet. But I'll show you what else I've been working on. I drew up this guy. Another little like Neotrad feather. That one
That's
should be
fun.
cool.
Oh, that is really pretty.
Matchstick, because who doesn't love matches?
I like not so much the matches, but the arson.
Fair enough. I really like the idea of using standardized recognizable shapes, but using those as windows. So I started playing around with that a little bit and doing something like a bird.
That's fun.
I was also thinking about putting a spider inside of it with like webbing and making it like a spider eating bird.
I like the flower. I would wear that. Definitely.
I
Faux show.
finished up this guy, little Luna moth with like some ornamental stuff. That one should be fun. I'm working on a bat pancetta as well, or panchet, however you
Planchet?
pronounce it. Planchet, yes, that. Little double-sided candle with some nuclear green flames.
Oh my gosh. Why did I ever get tattooed before? I don't have room for all of this.
You know, I started working on like a little samurai helmet or little samurai head, but like putting a demon face inside it, like a little Hanya face. That one will be fun. I just can't figure out what I want to do with the background just yet. Might do some waves, or I might do some like smoky curls or fire. Still haven't figured that one out, but I'll get to that one eventually. Yeah. So now I'm just going through and working on this guy, trying to see what I can come up with here. But another thought I had was going through kind of like the way that you did yours, Ricardo. If I tint the background down a little bit and I go through with maybe something a little bit bigger, as far as like the webbing goes.
Yeah, like negative stuff, exactly. Where in that you can feel color in there.
Right.
I like Ricardo's thinking face.
Yes.
he's like you can tell you're really pondering something. Like you are pensive AF, my dude.
Just looking at it.
I don't think pensive begins to describe it.
Man, I've been sick past couple days.
Oh, that's
crazy.
no good.
Yeah.
Why? Why'd you
Ebola?
do that?
I don't know. Stupid Illinois weather.
Yeah, and you guys definitely have a cold front coming through again this coming week.
I heard that. Sucks.
You know, if you were a betting man, you could probably hit up that guy that we know in Southern Illinois and be like, hey, can I come down and like hang out with you? Oh, wait. Oh, no, I'm snowed in with you. What a shame. We should do some painting.
That'd be awesome. Marooned.
Oh, and guess what? Look, I have a blank canvas and some brushes and some paints with me.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Yeah, I think I think at the bottom part there, you have a pretty big gap where you could make some negative shape. I think I'd kind of go the opposite direction with the webbing. Like
Down
almost
here?
drape it downward. Yeah, drape it downward. And on both sides of the other leaves too. Yeah. And since there's so much symmetry in it already, I definitely make them, asymmetrical on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's looking good.
I would just like hate to have to get the outlines for this together because I don't want to tattoo it super huge. So that's why I'm trying to think of like bigger shapes and bigger things to do. So because like if I print this out at even at 10 inches tall, I'm going to be getting in there with like a single to like kind of block off some of this webbing.
Yeah.
And try to fill in like all the negative space inside it, making those borders and edges super, super crisp, that close together. That's where I kind of come into like a little bit of a conflict of interest. I mean, it works great for art, but it would have to be done huge, like a full half sleeve, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I
So
think
we've got a few comments in the YouTube. Amber Morgaine said, both those skull spiders are really well done. Mike Cole said, some dull neo-traditional coloring on the main object and some neon spider web around it. That's actually what I was considering. And then None Your Business said, question in Procreate, my streamline is not available for any of my brushes. Any ideas on how to get to them? And then Mike Cole said maybe even a spider web at the bottom turning into some draping jewelry. That could be cool.
right.
To answer the Procreate question real quick, it's very, very easy to turn Streamline on. Double tap in brush and it is nowhere to be found. So you actually have to go into brush settings for that. So if you pull up your brush, let me spotlight myself. That way everyone can clearly see what I'm talking about. So if you pull your brushes up, right, you have it. If you double tap on it and you go into Brush Studio, which if I turn off my video, you'll see if you look in the upper left corner, it says Brush Studio. Be under Stabilization. And that's where you see Streamline, Stabilization, Motion Filtering. That's where you would kind of have to go to get those super smooth lines and take out any kind of that wiggle there. Hopefully that helps. Who knows? But yeah, so that's one idea. The other concept I had was if I do assist, we tint the background because I'd probably do that anyway. I'd probably end up doing something like super bright, like chartreuse green kind of web in the background. My jagged brush. So, and I mean, I could even do that. Too big. Obviously, I'd do it more asymmetrical, but do something like lime green, or even just like a super big spider web in the background that would be partially obscured by the bottle itself. Just as like a little bit of a thought. Because sometimes I like to think, and sometimes I just like to do. Not that these guys would be seen at all, but and then I could just go through And then anything here would probably be obscured, but boom, boom. Maybe just something kind of subtle in the background, or something with bigger line weight. Could work. Oh, I forgot to mention to everyone out there, on the 100th episode of this show, I'm actually considering doing an art giveaway based on viewers and comments and stuff like that. So if you are interested in getting a free original painting from me, make sure that you tune in and join in to this show in a couple of weeks when I have my 100th episode. And I'll be taking emails and all that stuff. And yeah, I'll probably set up like a Google form, and I'll publish the Google form. And then if you enter, you can put in your name, your address, your email, and all that stuff so that I can contact you if I need to. And who knows, you could win an original painting that you've seen me work on during one of these shows.
That sounds awesome, dude. 100
Yeah, I
episodes,
figure I've
man. How
got,
radical is that?
dude, never thought I'd get to that point. Let's
Congratulations,
see,
brother.
there's how many? There's 52 weeks in a year, so technically 104 episodes, even though I've already been doing it for over 2 years. But sometimes with conventions and other, internet issues and stuff like that. But yeah, 100 episodes, man. Never thought I'd see that point. You know what I'm thinking now, though? Now that I've got like all this green kind of mocked out, what if I just went through and I nixed the leaves? Right?
I
What
want
if,
to say that as somebody who has an original of your art, I have it hanging up in my living room and I admire it like all the time. It's so nice. So any winner is going to be really lucky to have one of those. It's so pretty and inspiring. I got the one it's a lady face.
mhm. Now that's not one that I did on one of these shows,
Mm-mm.
but it is one that you said, hey, I want something original from you. And I was like, okay, let me see what I have laying around. And it was basically just a color study that I did to try to work on facial structures and facial planes a little bit more. Um, just still trying to get a grip on them and still trying to understand cheekbones, eyeshadow, wingtips on eyes are a nightmare. Trying to get like female makeup correct. So I was like, yeah, here. Yeah, you want this one? Yeah, I threw some gold leaf on it. Yeah, it looks fancy now. Fancy as hell. Uh, but yeah, it's something that like I said, I had laying around. And it's amazing what I'll do for people that just ask me for things. I'm like, yeah, I've got, yeah, sure, sure. You could even do something like this, where if I got rid of the leaves, maybe just go with like straight webbing in the background, and I can make that bigger and negative.
I just did everything on the wrong layer. Ugh. How?
You think it would complicate it if you
What was that?
so you think it would complicate it if you laid some of that over the leaves that you had framing out the picture? Like if they were bigger? I don't know, it might complicate it too much because you would have a
I
lot
think
of
that would be a
you'd-
little too busy personally.
yeah, you'd have to me too. I like the leaves that you have though, that's the problem.
Yeah, I know, right? I
Mhm.
love those leaves. It's just, to go with like the whole spider motif.
Maybe if you kept the same kind of leaf structure and like flipped them and put them up more towards the mid.
Ooh, better idea. What if, hypothetically speaking, I got rid of the ornaments in the top,
Put the
right?
webbing up there. Yeah.
And I just throw the webbing up here,
And then the leaves in the back.
and then I can put the leaves back and use those as like the Art Nouveau kind of ornamentation.
Yeah.
That could work. And then I could
Yeah,
even
sure.
keep some of the like tiny little stringy webs inside the bottle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This
Cooking
is
with
where I run
gas.
into a
Cooking
lot
with
of issues.
gas.
This is exactly where I run into a lot of issues because there are so many different ways you can do things and so many different ways that you can illustrate the same point or create a work of art using create different moods and different options and stuff like that. It's really, really difficult to decide sometimes what direction you want to take something. And that is why I'm so happy that I have all of the people here to bounce ideas.
Well, guys, I'm gonna jump off. It was good to be
Alright.
here today. I'm gonna lay down. I'm not feeling too hot, so I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah.
Have a good
You
one, man. Hope your
feel better
Ebola goes
soon.
away.
Peace. Thank you. See y'all later.
Well, that's a shame. I hate to hear Ricardo's not feeling well. He's always a good dude.
Yeah.
I actually have one of his original charcoal renderings sitting
Dude,
here
he's so
right
good at
next-
charcoal.
Yeah, his black and
It's
gray
unreal.
it's next level. But he's an artist. He thinks about things in different ways, and that's what he does. He's like, yeah, that's cool, but what if? He's always inspiring to me. I look up to him a lot. So him and
Yeah.
guys like Seth Mushrush, my friend Mikkel from Scotland, who works at White Tiger Tattoo. If you are in the UK, in the country of Scotland, go to White Tiger Tattoo. Do yourself a favor. I was trying to get him on today, but I don't think that's happening. So I sent him the link. He mentioned he had wanted to join in. So we'll see. Maybe one of these days I'll get him on for like an interview.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you had any plans for any guest artists to come on the show for any interviews anytime soon.
So I'm still working on trying to get a schedule together with Anthony Tex to go through and do a live interview and a live Q&A with him.
Oh, that'd be fucking sick.
There's a number of different people that I'd really like to reach out to get on here and to do live Q&As. I might be able to reach out to Steve Moore and see if I can get Steve on here. That would be really, really awesome. I'm also
Yes.
working on trying to get Teresa Sharp on here.
That would be pretty phenomenal.
And I might be going out and doing another site visit and another live tattooing Q&A with Rich Wren coming up soon. That would be awesome again.
Hell yeah.
Do you think if I do the web at the top, I think that might just be too much web?
Yeah, it's starting to get a little cluttered.
Yeah. So if we nix the web on the inside, but then what would on the inside, I could probably get away.
I think an ombre type of coloring would be good, but I don't think it needs any more lines. Personally, that's just my opinion.
So I would eventually like to take, because I need something to fill up this side area a little bit more. So, I mean, even if I just extend the webbing out a little bit outside of that circle. That might be helpful.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, maybe even if it was just super subtle, that could work. Another option I have is instead of doing leaves, I could do femur bones. That could be cool.
Oh yeah, did you do that on the apprentices tattoo, or did you guys decide to not do that?
No, we did. We did.
Okay.
And we still have one session left that she's coming in next Thursday for, or this coming Thursday night. And I'll be live streaming that. So please, by all means, pay attention to the Instagrams. If you see me go live this coming Thursday, that's what I'll be working on, is the final session for the back of her calf.
Oh, that'll be
Uh,
fucking cool. Yeah, I'll try to check that out
Yeah.
if I'm not working.
Yeah, I don't think she starts until 5 or she's not coming in until 5 my time.
Which
So,
is like middle of my workday. Because I'm right behind you. So that would be like 2 p.m. my time. So I would be balls deep in a tattoo by then.
fair enough. Hmm.
I just always find it so funny how like I'm constantly calculating in my brain what time things are depending on which like group of friends I'm talking to. Like if it's anybody from the Reinventing the Tattoo community, like if you say 3 o'clock, I have to say like noon, or it's noon in my head and I'm constantly calculating. But then if I like turn around and talk to like my neighbor about some time thing, I have to go right back to no calculations, because everything's EST on Reinventing and I'm on the West Coast. It
Yeah, it's
actually
like
got
you should just
really,
move to the East Coast.
I should. No, it's actually funny because Sandy's on the West Coast too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was telling me yesterday about the live Q&A thing, and she listed EST, but I was thinking like, oh, you live in the same time zone as me, so I was thinking she was talking about our time zone. So I think even she is like, you know, communicating on Reinventing time zone, which was just kind of funny to me because I was like, we're both West Coast. Like we're in the
Right?
same time. But we're like having to talk to each other we're communicating in EST. But yeah, I don't know if that made sense out loud, but it was a funny thing to me that 2 West Coast people are talking about EST times because we're so used to our other friends being on the East Coast.
That's not, this isn't bad.
Oh, hey, I had actually a couple of questions about body maintenance for tattooers.
Yes.
Um, I,
Fifth of Jack Daniels will do it.
all right, good to know. Actually, Wednesday will be my 6-year soberversary.
Bravo. Congratulations.
Thank
That is
you.
not easy.
No, it's not. You and nobody else from Reinventing has known me as a drinker, and that's a really good thing. We would not be friends, if I was drinking. So I'm pretty proud of myself. Um, but as far as like back pains and stuff, I know a lot of tattooers that regularly get massages and stuff like that, doing stretches and all of that. I've got an appointment on Tuesday for a Thai massage because
Ooh.
I always get regular Swedish style massages every few months. But lately my back has been particularly in pain. Actually not lately. This has been going on for several months. It's been more than usual. Like today I woke up at 8 a.m. and I was in bed until right before the show started, which is 10 my time, because I didn't want to get up because my back hurt too much. So I'm hoping Thai massage, because it's a lot more about stretching and movement, might help. But I was wondering if you have any suggestions besides, stretching and massage for maintaining your
So
back as a tattooer.
this is something that I started looking into a long time ago because I know when I first started tattooing, I was being taught by a couple of super old school guys that were, very rough and tumble, very like, yeah, well, if you can't take it and you can't take a little bit of back pain,
You don't
you're
deserve
never
it.
gonna make it, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, yeah, okay, buddy. Let's see how well you're doing in the next 10 years. And you know what? Those guys aren't tattooing anymore because they can't take it. I know when I first started getting into tattooing that I wanted to be tattooing as long as I possibly could, as pain free as I possibly could. And I started to safeguard myself a long time ago from running into those same issues. And I started to heed the advice of guys that have been doing it for a really, really long time. One of the first things I ever did was I went out and got myself a little saddle stool. And everyone at the studio I was at the time used to make fun of me. I was the only one at that studio though. And as far as I know, still to this day, I've never had a problem with back pain. Never. Unless like I intentionally throw it out by trying to pick up something I shouldn't, or, just general horsing around and stuff like that. I don't, I've never been one of those people, so I might not be the right person to ask about this. But I would say the massage is definitely treating the symptoms. What you want to try to do is address the underlying problem. Okay.
Yeah.
That means look at your ergonomics. Okay. Look at where are your client, how high up are your clients sitting? How much do you have to bend down to reach the area? And what can you possibly do to put them in a position where you're not going to have to bend over the whole time to reach that area to tattoo it.
Yeah. I mean,
So I would say start looking at things like that.
I took a Derb Morrison seminar, longevity of a tattooer, and I learned a lot from that. I have definitely over the past few months been readjusting how I tattoo, trying to keep my back straighter, trying to keep my back in line with the backrest on my chair, bringing my clients to me rather than bending over to move to them. Getting up regularly for stretches and everything. A few weeks ago, you and Ricardo, because I made a joke about the fact that I had like even just moved in my chair to look at the camera during one of our shows. I think it was actually during your show one day, and something in my back there was a just sharp shooting pain, and all I did was turn and look at the camera. But I actually got a membership to a rock climbing gym because I know that my inactivity has a lot to do with the sedentary lifestyle has a lot to do with these sedentary lifestyle related injuries. So I'm like working on things like that, but I have seen not that much improvement. So I'm trying to figure out more things to do to save my back before I end up only being able to tattoo for 10 years and having to retire early.
So the first thing I would say is to kind of be the echo chamber for derb. Take a look at your natural position when you're sitting. When I'm at the studio and I'm on my saddle stool, the reason why I like it is because it's ergonomically designed for people to sit a lot longer, right? I'm
What
not sitting on a flat surface.
what is a
I'm sitting,
saddle stool?
let me see if I can pull one up. Send you a link to one. If I can, I'll pull one up on here. These are ergonomically designed to allow people to sit for longer periods of time in a more natural position. Let's see. So I have something. Share screen. So this is what I'm talking about when I say a saddle stool. It's got sloped sides. It literally looks like a horse's saddle.
Oh, okay.
What that's going to do is allow your legs to slope down to the side more instead of just coming straight out, right? Because sitting with very straight legs is not a natural position for the human body. By allowing those legs to slope down more, it forces us to sit up straighter, and it forces us to sit up with a much straighter back, right? I've had one of these and I don't have a backrest on mine. I've had one of these for 7 or 8 years now, and I almost won't tattoo unless I have it. And that's because it keeps my back straight, because you're constantly feeling like you're going to like slip off or slip up or whatever until you get used to it. So it forces you to sit with like your weight back a little bit more, so you don't feel like you're going to slip off. It creates a more ergonomic way to sit. And it forces you to sit with a much straighter back. So that's the first thing I would say is look at investing in something like that. It will help. You might not think it will, but it will make a world of difference in the long run. In the short run, maybe it's not going to help too much, but once again, I'm all about treating the underlying cause of the problem as opposed to the symptom. That and look at the position that you're going to be in, and look at the position of your client. Raise them up as high as you need them to be, even if you have to go out and get some like I think they're called like bed risers, to really lift up the client chair that they're sitting on, so that that tattoo is at eye level when you're sitting down naturally, right? Now, I have an added advantage that I'm short as hell. So for me, it's like, oh, cool. I don't have to make any adjustments. But those people like guys like Bill Canales, who are a bit taller, but they do these really long sessions. One of the ways that they prevent themselves from having such horrible back pain is by making sure that their client is at eye level when they are standing. And it doesn't matter if they have to get an electric, like, liftable table or whatever, or standing table, whatever. Make sure that your clients are at eye level. Make sure that they're going through and you can go through without having to bend over in any way and tattoo them. That's how you're going to do it. The only times that I ever really have to bend over whenever I'm doing a tattoo are when I'm, working on something like a full back piece, right? In which case I'll actually raise the table, I'll stand up, and I'll lean over just as much as I have to get that spot. But I'm constantly having my clients move all around in every position, in every way I can possibly think of, in order to have them comfortable, in order to have me go through and be able to reach what I need to reach in a very ergonomic way so that I'm not bending over. Because anytime you lean, anytime you bend, anytime your shoulders hunch forward, it throws off your center of gravity and it's going to strain your back. So start looking at the underlying cause of that. Definitely bring your clients up to eye level. If need be, have them lay down in a certain way, whether it's, maybe if you're working on like the back of a tricep, right? Or the back of a forearm, instead of having them twist around like this and you having to like lean over and hunch over into it, lay them down on a table that's a lot higher and have their arm just kind of tilt down at a natural angle so that that arm is at eye level to you. And then that way you never have to worry about that. You're not having to bend over at all. You can also do lower back stretches and lower back raises. Back when I was in high school and I used to do them all the time, they were called good mornings. You basically brace your feet, right? Have the middle of your waist at the end of a like weight bench, and you start out all the way down and then bring your head all the way back up. And basically what it does is it strengthens your lower back, kind of like what they do in certain yoga positions. That's one thing you can potentially do that might be helpful. I mean, don't get me wrong, maybe this is all stuff you've thought about, maybe none of this is really helpful, but these are all things that I do almost on a regular basis so that I can continue tattooing as long as I possibly can. Because this is a job I don't ever want to stop doing.
Yeah. I think I'm more disappointed in myself because I used to be such an active person, and my lifestyle, obviously everybody's life changes, everybody's lifestyles change. It's just part of human development throughout the years, and now I'm absolutely not, a completely different person with a completely different lifestyle. Like I don't do anything that I used to do anymore besides art. And now my body is completely the opposite as it used to be too. And I'm getting old and everything hurts and I want to go to bed.
Yeah, that's called age.
Aging.
There's no getting around that. I'm sorry.
If I could turn back, actually, no. The thing is, I like who I am now than ever before. But I sure wish I could hang like I could when I was like 23.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Don't we all? I was recently invited out to like a little birthday party by one of my clients. I didn't go, but I was like, oh, well, what are the details and all this other stuff? And they were like, oh, well, the party starts at 10:30. And I'm like, nope, I'm out.
Oh yeah. One
I'm
time
like,
somebody,
that's way past my bedtime. I'm sorry, but nope.
yeah, I one time somebody asked me out on a date and I was like, okay, sure. Like, when do you want to hang out? And they were like, they kept wanting to go out at like 11 p.m. And I was just like, my dude, you're going out alone.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in bed. I do not like that idea. We never ended up going out on a date because I mean, and who wants to like go out and do things. Incompatible.
Don't get me wrong. I am a night owl as far as I don't mind being up like drawing and painting until like 2 or 3 in the morning. But don't expect me to go anywhere. Don't expect me to do anything. I'm not going to leave my house after say 9:30. Sorry, not gonna happen unless I'm out at a tattoo convention and there's networking to be done. It's just not my thing. I get tired and I just want to go to bed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even a night owl when I stay home. I'll stay up and paint until I am sleepy and ready to go to bed. But I am sleepy and ready to go to bed far before 2 or 3 in the morning. I require a full night's sleep. I need my nightly 10 hours of slumber every day, or else I am a cranky old pumpkin. Plus
Well,
naps.
but the fact that you're self-aware enough to know that speaks volumes about you, right? Because some people are like, oh, I can survive off of like 4 hours of sleep, and they're just a zombie the next day. And it's like, yeah, you probably should have just said no and gotten plenty of sleep.
Oh yeah. No, I if I have something to do the next day and I know I have to be like awake and alert, I will not risk not being well rested. But you know me, I love to go to sleep.
Yep.
I'll take a
So
6-hour nap and miss an entire networking party. Sure.
Mike Cole had a great comment in the YouTube chat window. He said, my back and neck and my wrists are fine after 30 years. It's my sanity that I'm worried about in this industry.
Good point.
Mike, I completely agree with you, man. Staying sane in this world in this day and age, it's not easy. There are a lot of things that can drive us absolutely up the wall. But that's part of the reason why the Reinventing the Tattoo Network is such a great group of people, because we're the people that you can call up and be like, yo, I had this client the other day, man, and I almost lost my shit on. And feel free to reach out to people too, man. It works really well, helps alleviate some of that stress so that you don't feel like you're losing your whole mind. Don't get me wrong, being a tattoo artist, we are partly insane anyway. We kind of have to be to choose to do this for a living. So there is always that, but if you can, just chalk it up to that sometimes. Otherwise, feel free to reach out. We'll help you maintain your sanity. I mean, we can't find the pieces that you lost a while ago, but we can help you hold on to what you have left.
I am super grateful that I haven't had any nightmare clients in quite some time. I think
now that you said that, by the way, I hope you realized you just jinxed yourself.
Oh no, I'm knocking on wood. More wood over here. I got some wicker wood. I've got a different type of wood right there. All right, I've knocked on so much wood. Yeah, that's what she said. No, actually, I think a lot of it has to do with me changing shops. I'm not in a shop that kind of demands instant gratification. The last shop I was at was very, very much a walk-in shop. It wasn't that often that people would come in for long projects and large pieces. You know, it was very much a very touristy walk-in shop for very simple bangers in and out. And along with a shop that caters to that type of crowd is the expectation of things to be done quickly, you know, and the clientele that is kind of geared towards is client. Generally, they're not interested in investing a whole lot of time or money in a tattoo. They want it for the novelty of it, for the impulsivity of it, you know. That's kind of like the fun of walk-ins, actually, you know, the novelty, the impulsiveness, the spontaneity. Like, it makes for a great story, it makes for fun memories. It's a very fun thing to do. But now that I'm working in a much more it's not a private studio, and we do welcome walk-ins, but it is mostly like appointment only, and more large scale pieces and multiple session pieces. So
Gotcha.
it's a very different type of clientele that I have now. And with that, I think my clients that I have now are more in it for the long run. And
Okay.
that has made it so that we have been able to develop much more of a relationship, and I can focus more on them, like, as people, as my clients. And I've actually started to like really develop like substantial friendships with clients, and a lot more than just, you know, the in and out walk-in thing. And I think a lot of my problems with the other style of tattooing, where you're doing a lot of little bangers and walk-ins and everything, is that the people that are wanting it day of and spontaneously and impulsively don't really like to wait for it either.
Correct.
And put, like, for example, putting down a deposit for a tattoo implies that they have to wait and commit to something rather than just doing it now. And I've had a lot better luck talking about multiple sessions with people now that my clients are in it for the long run. And I lost track of what I was saying, sorry. But I've been having a lot of fun lately with this new style of clientele, and I feel like I'm actually like really getting personal development and personal relationships with my clients now, and I have been having so much fun with it. My clients are so funny. They're so funny and fun to be with.
And that's what matters. You want good clientele and good people to tattoo. And when you don't have that, it's a drag.
I was thinking about that yesterday, because like the client and I we spent a very large amount of our tattoo session laughing and making jokes, and I was realizing that I haven't really had that opportunity before, when it was just quick bangers all day long, to get to know my clients that well. And I'm really, really grateful for that.
Yeah, you get to know the process, you get to know the people, you get to know their ins, their outs, what makes them tick. And that's an important thing when it comes down to client experience. You know, they want to make sure that they're around someone that they get along with. And the more that they get along with you, the more that you have in common and the more personable you are, more likely they are to come back and get more work done.
Yeah. Hmm.
That'll be cool. I think I'm going to get rid of the ornamentation back behind the bottle. Maybe I'll just do some other leaves or something.
Dude, that is just looking so pretty. Like every variation you've come up with it is just really pretty. I'm just infatuated with your art, man.
So
You could
here's
literally
another
probably draw
little
an ornate turd and I would be all like, I'd get that tattooed.
tiny procreate hack, by the way, for anyone out there. Say you've got something symmetrical like this bottle is, right? And you're like, oh man, this just doesn't fit in there the way that I want it to. So this is the original bottle, and I've got this spider like right up against the lines. So what I ended up doing, and this is like the little procreate hack here. If you have drawing assist on with mirroring, vertically, and you come over to liquefy, when you use liquefy on a layer that is already set for drawing assist, you can actually change everything symmetrically.
Whoa.
And it'll mirror that as well. So if I wanted to go through, and this is what I was just playing around with, if I drag out this bottom, make the sides a little bit bigger so that I have a little bit more room in the bottle, that's not going to affect the top portion of it at all. And I can even play around with like maybe bending the bottle in a little bit more, tapering it down a tiny bit, maybe making this even longer if I want to make it look more like an actual potion bottle or like a little apothecary, like amulet bottle. I could go through and I could like bring the sides down and maybe out a little bit more. Probably keep them the way that they are, but I could always, extend that, maybe make that a little wider as well. And now I've got a little bit more room to play with my image on the inside of it. So I can actually go through if I wanted to, and I could make that spider a bit bigger to get more detail in it. I can keep a little bit of a different shape. That could look cool, especially if I decide I want to go with the like the glass inlay where all the ribbing is in the glass. Could be a little useful procreate hack for some people.
You are making me want to draw potion bottles now. Or at least play with the mirror imaging thing. That looks real fun.
Like I said, it holds true for everything that's in a drawing assisted layer. So I just re-added that leaf layer in there. And say I want to make these leaves a little bit smaller or maybe tilt them out to the side a little bit more. I can just set my liquefy brush a bit bigger and extend these out a little bit more. Now I may have to go through and redraw certain parts of it, but it's a great way to go through and make tiny little slight adjustments to things, maybe bring those tips in a little bit more. And as you can see, it's actually adjusting it across the board. Maybe I want to slope this leaf down a little bit more to get a little bit more of this tip out there. But it can really help you fine tune some of your adjustments and fine tune some of your shapes. I mean, you can always do a pinch if you want to pinch apart and shrink it. You can always expand, you can twirl, crystallize, adjust the strength of everything.
Dang, dude.
Right? Pretty cool,
All right,
right?
I'm learning so much right now.
I usually keep mine on push, but with momentum and distortion all the way down, if you turn distortion up, it's going to distort the image a bit more. You know, or if you have momentum up and you just do a quick swipe, it almost looks like you're fucking flicking it through liquid.
Ooh.
So I keep those two down. Pressure is usually a little less than halfway up. So just to give you an idea of what that tool can actually do. Now I'm just going to go through and I'll take this and actually, let me go back through. I'm going to liquefy this a little bit more and get rid of some of these inconsistencies like that little guy. I'll make that a little bit smoother. I usually like to do this just when it comes down to like placement. And, you know, just final like concept. When it comes down to doing my final line drawing, once I have all of my layers together and I know what I want all of my layers to look like, that's when I'll go back through and I'll take this and I'll drop the opacity down and I'll turn that and I'll literally redraw every single line in this just because I know that I want my final line drawing for whatever it is to be perfect. Pinch this side in more. And then this part, we can actually expand a bit more. This part, we can taper in and down. Just bring that down a little bit. Push that in a little bit more. There we go. Now I've got a little bit more room inside the bottle for me to play with. Can even use this at a smaller size to kind of bring this down so that I've got that nice like bottom of the bottle shape. Bring this up a little bit more. Don't know if anyone out there knew that already or has played around with Liquify on a drawing assisted object before or a drawing assisted layer before, but if you haven't, now you know. It's a good enough shape. Then I can always take my pen tool, draw right over top, kind of smooth some stuff out. Do a little bit of erasing. Erase this a little bit.
I've got to start getting ready for work.
Yep, and we are actually just about out of time for today. So I'm actually going to go through and do a quick sign-off session. I'll spotlight you, Medusa. Why don't you go through and tell us where we can find you and what your Instagram is and all that stuff. And yeah.
All right. Hi, I'm Medusa, and you can find me on Instagram at Medusa Slays with 3 S's at the end, Medusa Slays. My website is medusaslays.com. And that's where you can find me. Thanks for having me, Jason. It's always a blast.
Well, I am always happy to have you on here. I'm actually going to go through and stop your video. So thanks for joining us today, guys. My name is Jason Leeser. I'm part of the Reinventing the Tattoo Network. You can always find me on Instagram at Philly Inc. And you can see that right up here. Remember, if you like today's episode, go through and hit that like and subscribe button. Let us know that you enjoyed it. Maybe tag someone that could find this information useful. And we will see you next week for episode 99 here on the Skill Building Sunday Drawing Group on the Reinventing the Tattoo Network. Once again, my name is Jason Leeser, and keep those hands busy. Keep them drawn. Thanks a lot for stopping in today.